Deutschland ist zu langweilig, doch.
Hey. All right, let's test this out. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. What's really good at LeSBP Trading? Familia, buenos dias, bonjour, bon dia, salbona, guten abend, konbanwa, masake, aftab. Thank you all for tuning in. So today we're going to be looking at the trades of the week. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible, but at the same time, don't forget, watch the video in ×2 if you're watching it back. This is a weekly trading recap, so it is a little bit longer than most of the daily trading recaps. Yeah. So first things first, we're going to get into the statements, which I'll bring up here right now. Statement. This week started off on the 3rd. All right, so cool. This week started off relatively good. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I was highly surprised at how well I had done at the beginning of the week. We started off the week with $320, as you can see here. We ended up gaining $275 on Monday. Now, I figured out there's definitely a problem with my strategy because I win big, but I also lose big. Now, I could be winning bigger at the same time. I think I talked about this a little bit on Friday. So if you were here on Friday, I kind of talked about it and everything. But there is a major problem with the strategy because in my head, I could be winning a lot more. It's just I get a little scared, I get a little nervous. I don't know where to get out, stuff like that. So, anyways, we ended out Monday with $5.92.15 after you got the commissions and stuff, and then the amount of money that I won. So I end up netting $271.52 instead of $275. Actually, let me change something on here. Let's change that. Put it in my live streams. No. Trading. Don't forget, all of these are live trades. This is me on my TradeStation account. All right, so yeah, so we started off the week relatively hot. We gained $275 on Monday, and I felt good. So I was like, all right, we winning. And then on Tuesday, we came in kind of slower here. On Tuesday, we decided to, we did take a trade, but we got right out of that trade, ended up with a break even. That's why we ended up having the $1.74 of commissions, because I think it's $1.74 per trade, basically, or per 2 trades. Technically, you're buying and selling or selling and buying out. So 174, and then we just ended up with a $5.90.41 on Tuesday. Very, very small trade day, but to me it could have been, I think that day could have been worse. I don't know. We're gonna look at the trades too in a second anyways. Wednesday we did the same thing. We just took one quick trade. We ended up breaking even on that trade, and I ended up with $5.88.67. On Tuesday or Wednesday, one of these days, I was supposed to be winning, but didn't stay into the trades. which is also another one of my many problems with trading. So on Thursday, as you can see, we took many more trades than we took on Tuesday and Wednesday. We actually took like 5 or 6 trades on this day. We ended up making 127, or technically we grossed 118 and 80 cents because of the simple fact that we took like 5 or 6 trades. So if you look at the commissions and stuff, it came out to $8.70 total, which you see down here. And that ended up out of the 127.50, we got 118 and 80 cents. So we were up to $707.47 by incoming on Friday. Then on Friday, boy, as you can see, vastly overtraded. Like look at all these trades. Vastly overtraded. We took 13 trades on Friday. Some of these were legitimate. Some of these were not supposed to happen. And like I said, I'll get to that when we get to the actual like trading and stuff like that on TradingView. But as you can see, we ended up trading so much that we ended up losing $420 on NFP Friday. We literally lost $420. So all of the gain that we have from like this week, plus some of maybe a little bit of last week, well, actually it's mostly this week because we had 2 good days on this week. We end up losing all of that plus some. We end up going back down to $264.85. And then we had 22, not even to mention, we had $22.62 worth of commission, so that didn't help us at all either. And basically that's how we ended up with $264.85. So it was it was definitely not a great week because of the simple fact that we vastly overtraded on Friday. One day literally took out all of the days that we had as winners. And I kind of jotted down some notes here, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So Monday, this was the best trading day. This was the one where we had the 275, but we could have had a lot more. My idea behind trading is to basically try to stay on my trades as long as possible. Let those winners run. I'm only on the 1 minute time frame in my head. If it's gonna go, it's gonna go. If it's not, then it's probably just gonna go the opposite direction. Hopefully, we can either come out with a break even or a very, very small loss. That's my idea for the 1 minute time frame. So we got in here, which was utterly perfect. After we got in here, we ended up closing this trade early. Now, once again, like I said, that's one of my major problems because I just get nervous, I get scared, I see the money, and I'm like, yeah, let me get the fuck out of here. Well, as you can see, this totally tanked. After this point, yes, it did retrace a little bit, but as you can see, it totally tanked for the rest of the day. So the rest of the day, this was supposed to be a $762 day, and it ended up being like $275. Now, the reason why I bring that up is because that hurts us in the long run. This trade, had we won, we would have still come out with like $500 in the week. But because we didn't hold that trade like we're supposed to. We came out with a really, really big negative balance. Even with that $400 loss, we still would have come out with like $500, and on the week, excuse me. And that's one of my problems. If you look at the very next trade on Tuesday, we actually avoided, and this is the thing I see. When I end up avoiding bad trades and I'm like, oh God, this trade was so bad, blah, blah, blah. And I'm avoiding those trades, I'm like, well, don't strictly follow the strategy. And that's my biggest problem. I'm not strictly following my strategy. As you can see, we had like 4 or 5 losses here in between. And then this was a decent trade, but it also came right back down after a while. So one thing that I'm trying to concentrate more on is having like a daily stop loss limit or a daily gain limit, especially when I lose a bunch of trades beforehand. So to me, if I had only 1 trade in the day and it's going beautifully, fuck it, let that trade run. But if I had 4 or 5 losses before I got into the good trade, to me, in my head, from what I've seen, tested, looked back at, stuff like that, if I had those kind of losses throughout the day and I get this one winner that takes out all those losses, I might as well just take the break even. Just take the break even and don't allow that trade to knock you out. Now, I'm pretty sure we did that on this Tuesday, and I can really quickly bring back up the statements. I probably should have left the statements up just so I can see them. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So like I said, as you can see on Tuesday, excuse me, we only took a break-even trade. That's why we only went down by like $1 and some change. So it wasn't really that bad that I decided to avoid this. And even though we missed all of these bad trades and we took the good trade and let it break even, I mean, that's still me not following the strategy. Now, I know, like I said, that sounds like a great thing, but at the same time, I feel like if I'm not doing it right, then I'm doing it wrong, basically. So Tuesday ran past, then here comes Wednesday. Wednesday, we had nothing earlier on in the day. So literally, if you watch the stream, you're watching me just kind of wait for a trade to progress. Nothing ended up happening on Wednesday until very late. I don't think I was on the stream by this time, but I jumped into a trade right here. And as you can see, that trade came up, came back down, came up, came back down. And this is just me moving the stop loss really, 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 really early, thinking like, man, I might as well move the stop loss. But once again, this is only one trade in the whole day. This is, to me, I feel like this is like something that we can leave alone. We didn't have big losers that day. We didn't get into any other trades. We had this one trade. And if that one trade ended up losing, or maybe it turned itself into 2 or 3 losers because of how my strategy works, then okay, so be it. But because we only had the one trade, I should have let this trade run. And I'm not trying to run on shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but at the same time, I'm just trying to look at my strategy and see why we end up losing for the week. And this is definitely a major reason. We missed $181 on this day and 25 cents. So, you know, another missed opportunity where we had 762. This could have been a 210 negative, and then we would have had 181, and that still would have been positive on the week so far. I think that's still like almost $700. Now on Thursday, we only had 2 trades. 2 trades early, and then we had 2 more trades later on. I think I could only participate in 3 of these technically, but as you can see on Wednesday, we also, dang, my bad. On Wednesday, on the 5th, we also had a break-even day. So it's kind of up in the air to say like, okay, was it a good day or was it really a bad day? Because we came out with, you know, on Wednesday, we came out with, or sorry, Thursday, my bad, I totally looked at the wrong one. That was this one. On Thursday, we came out with $127.50. So was that a good day or was it a bad day? Well, technically, it still would have been a little bit of both. Like we should have came out with about $37.50. We came out with 122, which wasn't bad at all because we gained something. But it's not the same as if I was trading this day and made that 181 and then made a 762 earlier on in the week on Monday. So yeah, once again, just me playing scared, not trading my strategy, and then, you know, basically taking really, really big losses when on the days when I'm supposed to take really, really big winners, I'm not taking those winners. So then you caveat or not caveat, when you roll over here to Friday, we had a plethora of trades here. We had probably about 4 trades in between this. I know it only shows 2, but when I looked at the history of this, we got in here and then we got out immediately with like a break even. Then we got in here, which is really, really late because the trade is actually supposed to be over here. But we got in really, really late, hoping that it would continue after it reached our would-be position, and we ended up losing that trade. Then we got in here like 3 times, 2 or 3 times, lost that trade, and then we got in here and we were up $300. We were literally up $300 to almost $400 by the time it got all the way down here. The problem with this is, once again, in my strategy, in my head, I'm saying let the trade run, let the trade run. But in totality, because we had already lost like 3 trades in the middle of all this, I should have just took this and ran with it after it made that 1 to 8. Now I've kind of refined the strategy where I'm trying to look at more or less the risk to reward rather than the gain itself. I don't like to look at the monetary gain because in my head I'm like, well, one of these days you're gonna lose really big. It's gonna happen, and one of these days you're gonna win really big. But if we look at the risk reward and we can kind of define that risk reward to better help us, you know, with the losers, if we lose 5 times in a row, but we win one big one that's a 1 to 8, then I'm still okay. So that's something that I have to refine with my strategy. But we took this trade. This trade came all the way back. We only ended up getting like 50, maybe even $30 out of that trade. As you can see, this would have been like 400 almost dollars. And then we ended up losing like 5 trades right after that, which ended up equivalating up to like 200 to 300 by themselves. They don't look big, but these trades were like this one right here with by itself was like almost $120. This trade was another almost $100. This trade was like maybe $30. This was another 30 to 40 bucks. So if you equivalate all the trades that we lost plus this one that we did not gain as much as we were supposed to, and then these 2 to 3 losses in here, I mean, we just did a shit job at basically taking our trades. So My idea here is to basically one, I need to switch something up. I need to make sure that I'm taking that risk reward in consideration. If we've already lost trades beforehand, especially taking that risk reward in consideration will help me out. But then I also need to make sure that I'm not over trading. I don't need to take a trade every time one of these signals pops up for me. I created this signal for myself. It's basically just using an EMA. And for me, if I'm going to take those trades, then don't over trade. So if I've already won, then this happened last week too. If I already won a really good, big, juicy trade where it's two, $300, $400, $500, then I don't need to take the trades after if it decides to retrace. There's no reason for that. Like we've already had a great day, and that's what I mean by here. We already had a really great, decent day. There was no reason for me to trade again. Plus, I fucked up on the news. This trade was going beautifully. As you can see, it came down. Sorry, it pushed down, came up, then pushed down quite heavily, then pushed back up really hard. And after it got past this point, I was like, all right, man, if it keeps continuing to do this, we're just gonna get out. But as you can see, it just dove down. It kind of died off. And in my head, I was like, okay, well, we can let this trade run for the rest of the day. But instead of doing that, I should have, once seeing the news coming out at 12:30 with Powell speaking, that was my opportunity to get the hell out of the trade, at least with about $300. And we didn't notice that. I didn't notice that Powell was speaking right after NFP. That's, to me, I just feel like that's kind of stupid, but Powell was speaking right after NFP. So with Powell speaking right after NFP, as you can see, right after that happened, boom, market went right back up, literally in like 10, maybe even 15 minutes, right after his speech. So yeah, that's something I feel like I got to learn from. We had a good juicy 300, almost $400 day on Friday, and that literally $300 to $400 day turned into a $400 negative, which means I had to lose out all the unrealized profits from the $400 that we were gaining, and then I over traded um, by another $300 basically, because we had already lost 100 right here, but with this we were up, and that's all my fault. And then I think we got into this trade, but I was kind of just done. I was out of it for the day. So in my head, I believe we ended up. I'm sorry I didn't mark it, but I believe we ended up getting out like right here, which was like, I don't know, $1 or $2 positive. And as you can see, it did go up, but it really didn't do much anything. Um, so yeah, that's my trading for the week. As you can see, this is a live account. $264.85. We were literally at like 707, and by Friday, had I gotten out when I was supposed to, we were actually at like $900 because we gained back what we lost. We got back positive for the day. We were at like $900. Instead of getting out, I didn't get out, and then even worse than that, I overtraded after even after we won the $50. We could have just taken our little $100, $200 loss for the day and been back at like 700 or 600. Nope, I had to trade more. I had to trade more. So we ended up taking vast loss on that. So we went from 707 to 264 in one day. In one day. In one day. Biggest trading loss I've taken so far in any of my trades. So 420 is definitely the highest that I've lost in a single day. But yeah, I got to make some changes. So I wrote down some stuff for me to basically go over, to basically help myself, hopefully, with my trades. And we're going to see how that works out. I'm going to start with the 264. I guess we're basically starting over because my $200 was what we started off with in the first place. Or technically, we started off with 166. But $200 is what I'm naming the challenge. So we basically started off with this. I guess we got to start over and see what we can get. So first thing Monday, we'll be trading with 260. Well, my bad, I already lost it. 264, and we'll see what we can get. We got Joe's job opening this next week, core CPI, core PPI, and prelim UOM consumer sentiment with pre-UOM University of Michigan inflation expectations. So y'all let me know what y'all think, man. And I already know the overtrading part. Y'all ain't got to say that. I already know that part. But let me know what y'all think, that I can change, what I can do differently to hopefully make myself better. Y'all got any ideas? I'm more than welcome to hear it. I am not a profitable trader by any chance yet. But I plan on being, man. I plan on being a profitable trader by the end of this year, hopefully. Even if it's only like a couple $100. I don't care. but I feel like this would be my year to win something, especially with how much volatility is in the market. Like you can see this shit. Like look at that. S&P 500 2 years ago never would have traded like this. So, um, yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. I appreciate y'all for watching. Hopefully you had a better week than I. We gonna work it. If y'all want to catch the streams, I usually stream at about 10 o'clock, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I might open up Tuesday and Thursday. I'm not really sure. It just depends on how my work actually goes because I have a 9 to 5. So I gotta fund this account with something. But yeah, so Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I live trade my TradeStation account. Right now we got 264. That's it. All right, y'all. Thanks. Have a good day. Peace.